If you're watching this, you've probably spent the last hour typing combinations of MoCRA, EU 1223, and China CSAR into a search bar, trying to figure out how to get your product approved. Memorizing the allowable ingredient concentrations for a single local market doesn't guarantee a successful launch anymore. The reality is that the world's major regulatory frameworks don't align. They frequently contradict each other across international borders. A formulation or a marketing claim that sails right through customs in one region can easily trigger a hard rejection, an audit, or a mandatory reformulation in another.
OnlyTRAININGS. Learn what works in the industry.
Tackling these cross-market conflicts at the very beginning of product development is the only reliable way to avoid delays when you try to scale up. In the European Union, you have to navigate ongoing safety opinions from the SCCS. These restrict your formulation freedom well beyond baseline regulations. Compare that to the United States. With the rollout of MoCRA, the FDA is exercising a level of active oversight and facility registration requirements that brands haven't faced before. Then, look at high-risk emerging markets like China, where the CPSR framework introduces entirely different ingredient classification risks and documentation traps. For R&D teams and formulators, navigating three diverging systems at the same time usually devolves into a costly process of trial and error. That specific bottleneck is what the $199 Advanced Global Cosmetic Compliance course by OnlyTRAININGS claims to solve. We are going to break down the actual contents of this training to see if it delivers a reliable strategy for a global product launch or if it's a waste of time. The first thing to look at with regulatory education is whether it teaches textbook Annex lists or if it prepares you for how inspectors enforce the rules on the ground. This chart shows the trade-off. Free videos require low effort but carry an incredibly high risk of missing details. To get value from this $199 OnlyTRAININGS course, you must dedicate focused time. Its cross-market mapping places it firmly in the high-impact, moderate-effort zone. The curriculum breaks down historical compliance failures, explaining the root causes of why real products faced international delays despite supposedly meeting the requirements. Engaging with this material forces you to look at your own pending formulations and confront the regulatory weak points you might have missed. Dealing with the stress of adjusting a formula while it's still in the lab costs a fraction of what you'll pay to recall a product once it hits the market. This training is led by active industry practitioners who troubleshoot scale-up failures daily, rather than academic theorists teaching basics. The platform includes a feature called Expert Connect, giving you direct access to a discussion forum monitored by these same professionals. You can take the specific borderline ingredient risks from your actual product pipeline and ask for technical clarification before you finalize your documentation. But this requires participation. If you let the videos play in the background without asking questions, you are leaving a large portion of the return on investment on the table. By asking the right questions, you identify the specific protocols needed to handle sudden audits and the unpredictable enforcement patterns common in LATAM and ASEAN markets. That level of actionable, industry-tested advice is the variable that determines whether your global launch succeeds or ends up as an expensive laboratory failure. This checklist shows exactly who fits the profile for this training and who will waste their money. If you are an absolute beginner looking for basic definitions, a hobbyist making soap at home, or an academic studying theory, you need to skip this course. The curriculum skips the basics. It assumes you already possess a deep baseline understanding of formulation, and the pacing will completely overwhelm a novice. The ideal candidates are experienced R&D chemists, technical product managers, and senior QA professionals. Specifically, professionals currently facing the headache of managing cross-market compliance dependencies to secure a multi-region launch. Because it actively turns away beginners, the course maintains a high-level focus, delivering decision-grade strategy meant for practitioners. When you weigh the options, paying $199 for 6 months of access to this material is a negligible cost. A single misjudged ingredient that results in an international customs delay or a mandated label reprint will cost a company tens of thousands of dollars. Successful global compliance requires managing the ongoing strategic conflict between regions, which a static checklist cannot address. If you fit the profile, click the link in the description below to enroll, download the materials, and get access to the Expert Connect forum today.